Don't ignore that penny. It could be worth a fortune. Some Lincoln and wheat pennies with rare dates, mint marks, and minting errors are selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars today. Before you toss that 1 cent aside, check it carefully. You might be holding hidden treasure right in your hand. The 1976 United States 1 cent penny is one of those coins that millions of people have seen, spent, and perhaps even tossed into a jar without ever realizing that it represents a slice of American history and, for collectors, the possibility of significant value. At face value, it is just a penny, but in the world of numismatics, it can be worth much more depending on its condition, rarity, or if it has one of the many fascinating mint errors that capture the imagination of coin enthusiasts. The obverse of the 1976 penny continues the long tradition of featuring the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. This classic image was created by Victor David Brenner and has remained one of the most recognizable faces in American coinage for over a century. On the obverse, you can see Lincoln's dignified profile facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the date 1976 with the mint mark directly beneath it on the right. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust," a familiar phrase on U.S. coinage that has been present for decades. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro and first introduced in 1959. By 1976, this design had already been in circulation for nearly 2 decades and would continue to be used until 2008. The memorial appears prominently in the center, with United States of America across the top rim and E Pluribus Unum directly above the memorial. At the bottom is the denomination 1 cent. Collectors love the detail of this reverse, including the tiny figure of Lincoln's statue that can be seen inside the memorial with magnification, a subtle nod to the president depicted on the obverse. The year 1976 is special in American coinage because it marked the bicentennial of the United States. While the quarter, half-dollar, and $1 coins received special bicentennial reverse designs featuring patriotic imagery, the 1 cent penny retained its standard memorial reverse. That means while other denominations had dual dating 1776 to 1976 to commemorate the nation's 200th birthday, the penny remained simply dated 1976. Even so, it is still tied to this iconic year in American coinage history, making it a memorable piece for collectors in terms of mintage. The 1976 penny was produced in enormous numbers. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 4.6 billion examples without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced over 4.2 billion bearing the D mint mark. Additionally, the San Francisco Mint struck more than 4 million proof pennies for collectors. With totals exceeding 8 billion coins, the 1976 penny is one of the most common modern issues, which is why in circulated condition it usually holds only face value. But despite its huge mintage, there are still ways the 1976 penny becomes much more valuable. Condition is one of the most important factors. Most coins from this year that are found in pocket change today are worn and brown, worth only a cent. However, coins that have been preserved with their original red luster and show nowhere can be worth far more. Collectors prize coins graded MS66 red or higher by services like PCGS and NGC, and the price jumps significantly at these high grades. In fact, some 1976 D Lincoln cents graded MS67 red have sold for $1,500 or more at auction, showing just how much condition matters. Proof coins from San Francisco also offer value, especially in high grades. A perfect PR70 Deep Cameo 1976 S penny can fetch $100 or more, depending on the market. These coins were specially made for collectors using polished dies and planchets, producing deep mirror-like surfaces and frosted details that make them stand out from circulation strikes. What really excites collectors are the errors and varieties of the 1976 penny. Minting errors are essentially accidents that occur during the production process, and they result in coins that look different from the standard design. Because they are unintentional and often rare, error coins can be extremely valuable. One common type of error is the off-center strike. If a blank planchet is not properly seated in the press when struck, the design may appear off-center. Minor examples where only a small portion of the design is missing may sell for $20 to $50, but dramatic errors showing 50% or more off-center with the date visible can easily sell for several $100s. Double strikes are another fascinating error. This happens when a coin is struck twice instead of once, sometimes with a noticeable shift between strikes. A 1976 penny with a dramatic double strike can bring $100 to $300 depending on severity. Broad strikes are another collectible error type, occurring when the coin is struck without the restraining collar, allowing the metal to expand outward beyond its normal diameter. These errors can range in value from $40 to $150. Then there are die clashes, which happen when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in place. The result is faint outlines of the reverse design visible on the obverse, and vice versa. These errors can make the coin look ghostly and unusual, and collectors are willing to pay anywhere from $30 to $100 or more for clear examples. Wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable. Sometimes a penny is accidentally struck on a blank intended for a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. A 1976 penny struck on a dime planchet, for example, would appear smaller and lighter than normal and could bring $1,000 to $3,000 or more depending on condition. These dramatic mistakes are among the most coveted errors because they are so easy to recognize and so rare. Auction records demonstrate the potential value of these coins. In addition to high-grade regular strikes selling for over $1,000, error coins from 1976 have sold for similar or higher amounts. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that combine rarity, historical significance, and unusual characteristics. Another interesting aspect of the 1976 penny is its connection to the larger historical context. While the penny did not get a special bicentennial design, its place in everyday circulation during the nation's 200th birthday makes it a nostalgic piece for many Americans. For collectors, building a set of 1976 coins across all denominations provides a complete picture of the nation's coinage during this milestone year. For most people, the 1976 penny is simply a reminder of small change, but for those who take a closer look, it becomes an opportunity. It could be a high-grade example worth hundreds or even thousands, a rare proof coin with stunning beauty, or an error coin unlike any other, capable of reaching the upper levels of auction prices. The lesson is simple. Never underestimate the power of a small coin, especially when it connects to such a pivotal year in American history. So, the next time you find yourself sorting through old change or looking through a collection, take a moment to check your 1976 pennies. Look at the color, red, brown, or red-brown. Check for sharpness of detail. Examine the edges and surfaces for unusual features. What may seem like just another ordinary coin could turn out to be something extraordinary. And for those who know how to spot the signs, the rewards can be significant. The 1976 United States 1-cent penny is more than just money. It is a symbol of history, a chance for discovery, and a reminder that even the most common coins can hide rare and valuable surprises. Whether it's a flawless MS-67 red example that brings $1,500 at auction, a proof coin in perfect condition, or a spectacular mint error that transforms a penny into a treasure worth thousands, the 1976 penny proves once again that in the world of numismatics, nothing should ever be overlooked. The 1996 United States 1-cent penny may seem like one of the most ordinary coins in circulation, but when you begin to explore its story, you quickly realize that it is much more than a small copper-colored piece of change. This coin represents an important chapter in the long-running Lincoln cent series, which has been in production since 1909, and although billions were struck in 1996, the right examples, especially error coins and high-grade specimens, can carry values far beyond their face value of a single cent. For collectors, historians, and treasure hunters, the 1996 penny is worth far closer attention than most people realize. The Lincoln cent series is the longest-running coin design in United States history. First issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the design by Victor David Brenner featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, marking the first time a real person had appeared on a circulating U.S. coin. By 1996, nearly 9 decades later, the Lincoln penny was still going strong, its design essentially unchanged on the obverse, with the reverse still displaying the Lincoln Memorial, which had been introduced in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday. That 1996 issue was therefore part of the Lincoln Memorial subseries, a type that ran from 1959 to 2008. The 1996 penny was minted at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 6.5 billion coins without a mint mark. The Denver Mint produced more than 6.5 billion with the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint created proof coins for collectors, marked with an S. With such huge mintages, most examples of the 1996 penny remain extremely common in circulation today. Yet, as collectors know, common does not mean worthless, especially when errors, minting varieties, or exceptional conditions come into play. Composition is an important detail when discussing 1996 pennies. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint had been producing cents with a copper-plated zinc core rather than the earlier 95% copper composition. This change was made to reduce production costs, as the price of copper had risen. A standard 1996 penny consists of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams. Because of this plating process, errors became more common during these years, particularly those involving missing or peeling copper layers. Such errors have become especially desirable among collectors. In circulated condition, a 1996 penny is generally worth only 1 cent. Even in uncirculated grades, values are modest for most examples, usually ranging from 10 cents to a few dollars in mint state 65 condition. However, the situation changes dramatically for coins that grade MS-67 or higher, where population numbers drop significantly. Coins certified in MS-68 red, for example, can sell for hundreds of dollars at auction due to their rarity. In fact, one 1996 D penny graded MS-68 red by a major grading service sold for over $2,000, showing just how much collectors are willing to pay for near-perfect examples of a coin that most people overlook as ordinary. Errors are where the 1996 penny truly shines. Collectors have discovered a range of dramatic mistakes from this year that turn a 1-cent coin into a piece worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Double die obverse varieties, where parts of the design appear doubled due to a hubbing error during die preparation, are highly sought after. These can bring anywhere from $100 to $500 depending on visibility and condition. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the blank planchet was misaligned during striking, often sell for $50 to $250 depending on how far off-center the strike is. If the coin is dramatically off-center but still shows the date, values climb even higher. Another prized error for the 1996 penny is the missing copper plating variety. Because these coins are struck on zinc planchets with a thin copper layer, sometimes the plating process failed or only partially covered the coin. This results in dramatic-looking pieces that appear silvery gray or two-toned, with exposed zinc showing through. These errors can bring $200 to $500 depending on grade and eye appeal. Perhaps the most dramatic are double-struck errors, where the coin is struck twice, creating overlapping designs. These spectacular mistakes almost always attract strong interest at auction, often bringing $500 to $1,000 or more. Other minting oddities like die cracks, cuds, where a piece of the die breaks off, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin, and broad strikes without a proper rim also add to the range of collectible possibilities for the 1996 penny. Auction records show that collectors are paying serious money for the best 1996 pennies. While most are worth very little, a handful of high-grade examples and error coins have sold for truly impressive amounts. For instance, a 1996 D penny graded MS-68 red sold for over $2,200 at auction, while proof coins graded PR-70 Deep Cameo have fetched more than $500. Even more exciting are some of the dramatic error coins, with prices ranging from $500 for a dramatic off-center strike to more than $1,000 for a stunning double strike or major plating error. For collectors, the 1996 penny is also significant because it represents one of the last years of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse before the coin would begin a new chapter with the Lincoln Bicentennial Reverses in 2009. This makes the 1996 issue not only a collectible in its own right but also part of a larger narrative about the evolution of the cent over more than a century. What makes coins like the 1996 penny so exciting is the fact that they can still be found in circulation today. Unlike older rare coins, which are mostly tucked away in collections, modern error pennies and high-grade survivors sometimes still show up in pocket change, rolls of coins from the bank, or estate collections. That means anyone with a careful eye and a bit of knowledge has a chance to discover a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars for just 1 cent. The broader lesson here is that no coin should ever be dismissed as worthless without at least a quick check. The 1996 penny proves that even in a year where billions were minted, The unique quirks of minting and the desire for perfection among collectors can transform an ordinary-looking coin into something extraordinary. It is this sense of discovery, this possibility that treasure may be hiding in plain sight, that continues to fuel interest in numismatics and makes the hobby so rewarding for collectors old and new. So, the next time you're handed back change at a store, take a second look at that 1996 penny. While most will be worth just a cent, there is always the chance you might be holding a rare error or a near-flawless gem, the kind of coin that has already sold for thousands at auction. And that possibility, turning the most ordinary coin into an extraordinary discovery, is what makes the 1996 penny a small but powerful reminder of the hidden value all around us. The 2014 United States 1-cent penny is one of those coins that most people barely glance at as they drop it into their pocket, piggy bank, or car's cup holder. It's the smallest denomination in circulation, worth just a cent, but like many coins in U.S. history, the 2014 penny carries with it a mix of tradition, design significance, and in some cases, surprising collector value. What makes the 2014 penny so fascinating isn't just its design, but the fact that hidden among the billions of coins produced are rare gems, whether pristine examples in top condition or error coins that slipped through the U.S. Mint's quality checks, that can transform an ordinary cent into something worth hundreds of dollars or more. The story of the 2014 penny begins with its design, which continues the long-running tradition of honoring President Abraham Lincoln. Since 1909, the obverse has carried Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln, introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. By 2014, it was well over a century old, making it the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. On the obverse, Lincoln's right-facing profile is surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 2014 on the right. Just beneath the date sits the mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. The reverse of the coin features the Union Shield design, introduced in 2010 to replace the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Designed by Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, the shield has 13 vertical stripes representing the original states, joined by a single horizontal bar across the top. On this bar is inscribed E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one. Across the shield runs a bold banner with the denomination 1 cent, and at the top of the design is the inscription United States of America. The Union Shield was chosen as a symbol of Lincoln's preservation of the Union during the Civil War, tying the coin directly to the legacy of America's 16th president. From a technical standpoint, the 2014 penny is the same as all modern cents struck since 1982. Rather than solid copper, it is composed of 97.5% zinc with just a thin copper plating, giving it the familiar reddish-brown color. The coin weighs 2.5 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, and has a plain edge.in terms of production numbers. The Mint struck billions of pennies in 2014. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 4.1 billion, while the Denver Mint produced over 4.5 billion. The San Francisco Mint struck proof pennies in much smaller quantities specifically for collectors. With numbers this high, it's easy to assume the coin is too common to ever be worth more than a cent. But the truth is, condition and errors can turn an ordinary 2014 penny into a valuable collectible. For circulation strikes, most 2014 pennies you find in your pocket change are worn or have minor marks. These will never be worth more than face value. But uncirculated examples with high grades, meaning they have sharp details, full luster, and virtually no marks, are where things get interesting. Coins graded mint state 67, MS 67, or higher are considered exceptional, and collectors will pay a premium for them. A 2014 D penny graded MS 67 read by PCGS or NGC can sell for around $50 to $100, while an MS 68 example can bring $150 or more. Though rare, if a 2014 penny reaches the almost perfect grade of MS 69, it could sell for several $100s, making it one of the best outcomes for such a modern cent-proof coin. Struck in San Francisco are another popular category. These were specially made with polished dies and planchets, resulting in sharp details and mirror-like fields. A 2014 S-proof penny in PR70 Deep Cameo, the highest grade, has sold in the $50 to $75 range, sometimes higher when demand peaks. While proofs are not rare, their pristine condition and collector appeal make them far more desirable than circulation strikes. But what really excites collectors are mint errors, mistakes that slip past the mint's strict quality controls. Despite modern minting technology, accidents still happen, and the resulting coins can be worth many times more than face value. One of the most valuable error types for the 2014 penny is the doubled die variety. This occurs when the design on the die is doubled, creating the appearance of overlapping letters or numbers on the coin. For example, a doubled die obverse might show doubling on Liberty or the date 2014. Strong examples of double die errors can sell for hundreds of dollars, depending on visibility and condition. Off-center strikes are another dramatic error. These coins are struck with the die misaligned, leaving part of the design missing and a blank crescent visible on the planchet. The more off-center the strike, the rarer and more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date remains visible. Off-center 2014 pennies have sold for $100 to $200 depending on the percentage of the off-center strike. Other collectible errors include coins struck on the wrong planchet. If a 2014 penny were accidentally struck on a dime or nickel blank, for instance, the result would be an extraordinary error worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Similarly, missing copper plating errors, where the zinc core is exposed, create visually striking coins that often sell for $100 to $250 at auction. Auction records highlight how valuable these seemingly ordinary coins can become. For instance, a 2014 D penny graded MS68 red by PCGS sold for around $150, while proof 2014 S coins in PR70 Deep Cameo have consistently sold for $50 to $75. Off-center and missing plating examples have brought $150 to $300, demonstrating the strong demand among collectors for unique 2014 errors. What makes the 2014 penny especially engaging is how it combines history with modern collecting opportunities. On one hand, it continues the century-long legacy of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, a design instantly recognizable to every American. On the other, the Union Shield reverse links the coin to more recent history and the nation's enduring ideals of unity. Together, these elements make the 2014 penny a coin that bridges past and present. For collectors, the 2014 penny is a reminder that value isn't always about age. While older coins often command high premiums, modern coins like this one can be just as exciting when they feature rare errors or achieve near-perfect condition. That's why coin enthusiasts carefully search through rolls, pocket change, and proof sets, because even a coin as common as a 2014 penny could turn out to be something extraordinary. So the next time you come across a 2014 penny, don't dismiss it as just another cent. Take a closer look at the details. Is it flawless, shining like it just left the mint? Could there be doubling on the date or inscriptions? Does the coin look off-center, or is the plating missing in spots? If so, you might just be holding a coin worth hundreds of dollars. Proof that even in the modern age, treasure can still be hiding in plain sight.